Hi everybody, my name is Jacob Abbott. I'm the global head of our partner CloudOps business.
My name is Frank Schwarzenau, and I'm also part of the CloudOps partner team.
Hopefully everybody's doing good today and having fun in Vegas. I know there's only a few of you in here today, but hopefully you learned something from it. So out of curiosity, since there's just 4 of you, how many partners do you think are in the APN? 20,000? 500? 40,000? 80? 100? That's right, 100,000 partners. So today, we're going to talk a little bit, how do we cut through some of that, right, to help customers find the right partner for their solutions. So, within the APN, there's different specializations that you can acquire. The first set is our service-specific ones, such as Service Delivery Program and Service Ready Program. And these programs are really highlighting specific services like CloudWatch, CloudTrail, Security Hub, right? There's quite a few of them out there. Then you get into the domain-specific specializations. These are looking at partners that have completed use case qualifications as well as industry specific ones or workloads. So these are focused more on helping customers find the right partner for the problems that they have. And then last but not least, we have delivery specific, and this is more of our AWS managed service provider style programs, which we're not going to talk about today. But today we're really going to focus on the domain specific, so getting into the competencies, right? Looking at, in our case, CloudOps, but there's also the security competency, there's the financial services competency, so there's competencies that validate partners across the spectrum. And today we're going to dive into that a little bit.
So at this point you established we're talking about the partner program and about how to scale for you as a customer in AWS faster with our partners. I have the pleasure of running the Cloud Operations Competency, and I just wanted to share a couple of thoughts on why it actually makes a difference to choose a partner that is validated. And we have some partners in the audience that are validated, it's great. So the way that we validate these partners is we send them through a very rigorous process of technical validation. So there's a lot of hoops that we send these partners to jump through, and the bar is very, very high. So we're not lowering the bar for any partner, doesn't matter what size or what specialization. And any partner that is in the competency is definitely tested to the core on their technical capabilities. But also, some of the validations require our AWS baseline requirements, which basically means that all of the solutions that our validated competency partners bring to market are in compliance with the AWS best practices. And that's relevant for a lot of different reasons that I'm going to go into a little later. But those partners also have a lot more resources at their fingertips. So basically, if you're a competency partner, you have someone like me or like Jacob on your speed dial, but beyond us, there's a huge team and resources that these partners have access to that other partners don't have access to, that make them basically advise their customers in a more informed and in a better way. And one of the things that we do to these partners is we share our roadmaps. So we always enable our partners to sort of look around the corner, what's next. So a lot of the launches that you hear this week here have already been kind of briefed to some of our competency partners. So they know what's launching, they know how their services offerings or software offerings map to these launches, and therewith make it better for their customers to have a smoother transition to new features or have a smoother transition into new feature releases. And then of course, we host a lot of events, a lot of training, a lot of enablement events for these partners that are only accessible to these competency partners. So it's definitely giving them an edge that non-competency partners don't have. So zooming into cloud operations, right? Cloud operations is our area, and you can see it behind us. The Cloud Operations Partner booth is about cloud operations partners and validated partners. So if you've been to any session that starts with COP this week, you might have seen these 5 solution areas already. But this is how AWS defines cloud operations. So it is an integrated model of integrated cloud operational model between those 5. And this is not a random allocation of 5 solution areas. There's a lot of thought behind it, a lot of intent behind it, that we're advising our customers to set up operational models that touch on every single one of those 5. So, having an observability solution that doesn't integrate with your ticketing system doesn't really make that much sense, right? Or if you have a very compliant system that completely has costs running out of control, also is not that great. So what we advise is that every customer should think about those 5 in collaboration or in one operational model. So you might ask yourself, how do we validate a partner against such a huge topic like governance, right? There's a lot of stuff in there and you can break it down into a lot of different use cases, and that's exactly what we do. So in AWS, you may have heard that we're customer obsessed, so everything starts with a customer. So our use case definition also starts with a customer, our feedback from the customer. So this is what a big team behind us does when we look at cloud operations. We basically look at what you as a customer share with us, what kind of help you need, how you procure services, how you procure software, what kind of problems those kind of things address. And we kind of put all of this together. We have the customer feedback, we have our specialist requests, which basically means our AWS customers need help with a certain thing. We data mine this and we basically distill the most common use cases out there. Then our team goes to work and we define the best practices. So if we have a use case, say AI ops, right? We basically define and we write it up, what's included, what's excluded, and we define that best practice. Then we work with our competency partners. So we basically start mapping our competency partners to all of the needs that our customers have. Like, how does this competency partner fit in there? How does this competency partner answer the requests on a certain use case? And we are able to do those kind of like partner to customer problem mapping, which is great. And then in the end, and that's sort of the whole goal of this presentation, of how does it make it easier for the customer, it basically ensures that the majority of use cases that you request from AWS or from our partners have structured resources behind them in terms of guides, in terms of best practices, in terms of reference architectures and so on, and that we have partners that can actually deliver on those. So I don't want to confuse you with too much content here. So these are our software use cases within cloud operations. So I just wanted to kind of like not have you read the entire slide and like take some off, but use cases can include some of the ones that I put here on here. So preventative and detective controls, for instance. That means that does a partner have a mechanism and a repeatable solution in place to help customers implement things like control towers or like static analysis of your CloudFormation templates, or basically having those kind of like static controls in your governance service offering. Modern applications is huge. Like, I feel like everybody's talking about containers, container observability, serverless. That's also one use case that we test our partners against. Like, what is your offering? Like, how much do you actually map to the AWS best practices? Planning and forecasting for financial management. It's great if you tell your customer this is how much you spend on AWS, but if you don't tell them, like, this is what you're going to spend next month or next year, and this is how you actually plan and use all of the AWS resources to help you figure out your future spend, that's what the partner should do, and we validate partners against it. Clean room environments, I don't need to get into it. ITSM integration is a huge one for ops management, especially for very large engagements. These ops automation and management is super important. But we validate partners a little different between the software and the services path, and maybe Jacob, you can...
Yeah, so out of curiosity in the crowd here, who's a customer? I'm just trying to get a lie here. How many of you are partners? How many of you are software partners? Where's my services partners? Okay, so your customer, your service partner, or software partner. Seems like we've got everybody here. So I'm going to try to explain this in 3 different ways. So from a validation of our partners, if you look at the software partners typically are a little bit more niche, right? You're going to have a point solution, or you might be a bigger ISV and you have multiple point solutions. What we do in the competency is we're validating you for a specific use case within a category is what we call it. That way that we can start to pair you up with customers whenever customers come to us for help. On the opposite side, with the services partners or consulting partners, right, they're going to need to know about everything there is in a category. So in this example, compliance and auditing, right, there's multiple use cases within this, and those service partners need to be able to fulfill those validation checklists, is what we call it, but basically it's a big old audit that we do on that partner to make sure that they're able to deliver those services. So from a customer standpoint, if you're looking for a partner, either ISV or a services partner, you can now go into our, to the website, there's a category picked down, and we'll hopefully be better defining that soon, but you can go find partners that are matching the exact same use cases. And back to what Frank was talking about earlier, where we're getting this input from our customers that says, hey, we need help with this. There's a hole here, whether that's AI ops or centralized risk management or one of the many use cases in here. We're now trying to pair those use cases up with our partners. So if you're a customer looking for a partner in centralized risk management, you can go to our website and find those. You can ask your account manager within AWS and they can help find those partners for you. So we've already pre-validated them. We use a third-party agency that then validates them even more. So it's not just Frank picking his best friends, even though we do make friends with a lot of our partners. We're actually validating these partners through a very rigorous checklist.
Great, yeah, so some of our partners that are validated are actually in the audience. If you want to talk to Shane over there, or Mark over there, or is there any other partners that have the competency in the audience? No, okay. Well, yeah, before we all maybe open it up for questions, if you have any questions on the program, or lead you over to our booth for cloud operations competency hats, for instance. I just wanted to give one example for one of our partners. The IBM is a valued partner. They've launched an offering that was assisted by the cloud operations partner team, validated against any kind of use cases, any kind of best practices, and this was just one example for consulting platform services on AWS with IBM. There's a lot more of these examples that we can talk about, but this was a big CPG customer that they served, and the need was to have end-to-end visibility and observability platform that goes into hybrid and into multi-cloud, and they were able to kind of address these issues here and build a platform in collaboration with the cloud operations team. And these are some of the key stats that, of course, we're very proud of to enable our partners to do this kind of impact on our customers. And of course, looking forward to having a lot more of these offerings out there to be delivered to you as a customer. So with this, we have a great location here, which is right here, so you don't have any excuses of not showing up over there at the booth, but please come by. I would have loved to put all of the names of our validated partners on this slide. We weren't able to, but we have 70 partners, a lot of ISV partners, about 25, actually no, I'm lying. I think it's 14 consulting partners, but we have great guides on where you can find those partners here on the expo floor, and we also have some nice swag, so please come by. Are there any questions here on the program, what we do for our partners, and how it makes it easier for you to pick partners in this cloud operational world?
Quiet group today. Everybody's lull after lunch. Okay, I get it. We do have some nice hats over there, so if you want to get a swag passport, we have these, so you can go get them in the front. And again, we're over here all day, tomorrow, next day. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Frank and Jacob. This was interesting. As if you're passing by, we have our next session starting in 15 minutes time. Please drop by for our next session at Theater 1. Thank you.